When we decide to purchase a new high-tech device, what we usually do is we do some online research, we go to a store, we read magazines, and then we compile a neat short list with devices. And what we tend to buy afterwards, despite all that research, is the device that has the shiniest appearance and the longest feature list. There is a problem with that because the price that we pay for a long feature list and for shiny devices is the complexity that comes with a device. And that usually means that even though it has these wonderful features, we hardly use any of them because we don't know how to find them. See, we all have been there. But the thing is, there are some companies that somehow manage to build devices that are really complex and still they're a joy to use. I mean, just look at these faces. They're totally immersed in what they're doing here. What is the difference here? Or what makes the difference between difficult and easy to use devices? It's very simple. There are two types of companies. One type of company focuses solely on visually pleasing designs, and other companies focus on usable designs and still make their devices pretty and beautiful and easy to use. So the thing is, there is no excuse for badly designed devices that are difficult to use because there's something like a cookbook, and that cookbook is called Gestalt psychology. It's several decades old, and it has more than 100 laws, and these laws describe how the brain tries to make sense of what the eyes see and what the ears hear. Some of you might have seen this picture. It's not a printer malfunction that this is based on, but if you look closely and squint a little, you might see something in that picture. Do you guys see that? The Dalmatian dog that's sniffing the ground? The thing is, the dog is incomplete. Why do we see a dog? Because the brain sees part of the dog and sort of closes that shape and associates it with something we know, which is the dog. That's called the law of experience. It attaches to things we know. If you look at this slide, it demonstrates the law of closure. That's exactly what just happened. So if we see part of a shape that is familiar to us, our brain closes the shape and we see the whole shape. I mean, look at the triangle. It's not even there at all. It's negative space. Another law is the law of similarity. When we see things that look similar, we expect them to operate in a similar way and to also do similar things. Just think of the number pads on a telephone. If you would touch one of these keys and the light would go out, you'd be surprised. You wouldn't expect that because that is not supposed to happen. And you would also talk of these buttons as the number pad. That's because they're close to each other. The law of proximity says that things that are visually grouped together also belong together logically. That's what we expect, at least in these cases. So here's a real-life example. Even though there are 3 dials and 3 buttons, they're grouped closely together, we expect these to be somehow related to each other in what they do. And note the hazard light button, because it doesn't have any neighbors, that stands out. So that's another way to use the laws of proximity to make things stand out. Even if you have no idea, and that's the beauty of the Gestalt laws, how a specific device works, like this one, you can see that the interface looks tidy. It's really neatly arranged on the front panel. It has different colors to differentiate controls. And again, you don't need to understand how it works. You see that it is tidy. It's appealing. Same thing in this case. Even if it looks chaotic at first sight, if you look closely at the details, you see the laws of proximity, similarity, and closure applied all over the place. So that's the key question. What are we supposed to do with that kind of knowledge? The thing is, we shouldn't let companies get away with badly designed products that are difficult to use. So the next time you, thank you, the next time you consider buying a high-tech device, try it hands-on. Don't see the sales guy's demo, just get your fingers on that device. Download sample copies or demo copies of software and try it out. And it's not so much about understanding what it does exactly, but try to make sense of what you see. Is it as neatly arranged as that synthesizer you just saw? Do the designers know about how that works? And if you have at least twice the amount of eureka moments as you have head-scratching moments, that's a good sign. Otherwise, check something else out. So here's the key point. If we all start analyzing devices for the usability before we purchase, and only by those that are indeed easy to use, we will force manufacturers to place much more emphasis on usability in their design process. So just say no to crappy designed products. It is that simple. And I know that I see the pain in your faces when you're here and we talk about this stuff because you've been there. So if you go to bit.ly, that's bit.ly/ignite Gestalt, there's much more information on how you can make sure that your next high-tech purchase will not lead to buyer's remorse. Good luck.